Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen then.
Yeah, so welcome everyone. I'm Joy Taylor with the Women's Business Center at JEDI, and today we're talking about marketing your business through a crisis. So we're going to be exploring and learning what the key elements are that will support us. I say us because I'm a business owner too, right? How do we create a marketing message in context today, one that is relevant? And how can we succeed and see the opportunities during and after what has become a global crisis time? So I'm thrilled that we have this special webinar today to really support people in how to be relevant and how to adapt your marketing in the coronavirus era. I did want to let you all know, well, go ahead, Ashley, we'll look through the slides, but yes, there is the handout and chat. The webinar is brought to you by the Women's Business Center, and we have lots of services, so if you have not reached out to do some one-on-one support, please, you are welcome to go to e-jedi.org or give us a call so we can support you in the online training, but also one-on-one tax planning, loan applications, including the SBA disaster loans that are really relevant for a lot of you right now. I'm so excited more people are joining us. Okay, so how to get the most out of the webinar? Participate, be here fully, take notes. There's going to be some good stuff in here, and I want to get right to it because this is going to be important and you're going to apply this to your business. We are so blessed to be with Ashley. Ashley's in the Zoom room. She's in the house. And Ashley McHatton is a brand developer, a brand specialist. She supports business owners in creating congruent messages, congruent looks and feels and images and personalities, and a reputation that supports small businesses in really succeeding in their intentions, in their visions. And Ashley, you're in Redding, California. You're right here with us. You were through the fires, and now we're in this next crisis. And so we're really excited that you are going to support us in understanding what to do in terms of marketing and outreach during a crisis. So welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. I'm excited. And before we jump in and get going, I want this to be interactive. We're going to have lots of time for questions at the end, and I want you to be able to ask your specific questions so that you can leave here with the support that you need, then go back and fill out the forms with the handout after to work on your messaging and to have an action plan. But I want to, one, leave you inspired today because that's important, but also like give you a prescription of what to do with, my hope is again, hope and optimism about opportunities that are out there. And again, how you can shift and adapt your message to have it resonate with your audience. So with that, Joy, we have our first poll.
Oh, great.
Yay.
All right, so I'm launching the poll. Have you purchased anything in the last 2 weeks? So this is popping up on your screen, and you have the option of 3 things. Have you purchased anything in the last 2 weeks? This is great. We got half people have already voted. More are coming in.
Awesome.
This will give us a little take on where we're at. You know, I love what you already said, Ashley. Like we can be a part of the solution right now. We can be beacons of light. And okay, it looks like we've got we've got over 80% voted. And I'm going to go ahead and share the results with everyone.
And I think
go ahead.
Nope, you go ahead.
52% say, yes, I've made several purchases. 43% only the basics, and only 4%, no, I haven't bought anything in the last 2 weeks.
So to me, like, it's nice as a reminder, and especially as a small business owner, that people are still spending money. People are still buying things that are beyond the basics. Some people are still buying the basics, and we'll challenge what that means for people on this training today. But to me, this gives hope. And the people that don't, that doesn't mean that people don't need your services and what you have to offer. So just because you're not buying doesn't mean that everybody else is making those same decisions. And I know when this first happened, I was like, this is like the fires all over again up here in Northern California. Where are we in business? Are we closing? What are we doing? And it feels like that shortness of breath, like, am I out of business? Is this going to be the thing that finally puts me out of business? And so to me, I thought this was a great way to start to see there's money still exchanging hands. There's still opportunities here. And maybe your business won't be able to function the same way it did, but that doesn't mean they can take away your skill set. And so one of the things my mom said to me growing up was, people can't take away your education. So any of the work and investment you've put into yourself, into your skills and the tools that you've learned, no crisis can take that away from you. It's just, how do you use those going forward? So with that, I'm going to stop sharing the results. If that's okay, Joy. I think I did that right. Okay.
Yeah, but that's a tweetable moment. It's like how you use that education now. That determines our future. And Ashley, real quick, I'm going to ask people to chat. If you can chat, what industry are you in?
I would love to hear that. And where are you from?
Yeah. So your city, most of you are in Northern California, and what's the industry you're in? So that could be like the coaching industry or the graphic design industry or health, healing, retail from Richmond, California. Thank you. Go ahead and chat. Healthcare, chiropractic.
Very nice.
Clothing, photography, wedding photography. Retail, home, coaching, spiritual coach, Reading, mental health services, graphic design for high-tech companies, Southern California, personal development. We have someone from Alameda who does graphic design. For high-tech companies, Mount Shasta, art framing, retail, personal care, Etna, California, Mount Shasta, body care products, Sonoma, retail and interior design, Mount Shasta, horses, healing, and caregiver art. I think I got most of them. We have big, wide.
Well, that makes me excited, because a lot of the clients that I've worked with, I'm like, okay, like one of them is an animal behaviorist and we're doing things with her. And then there's tons of people. My business started out as photography, and that's a huge piece of what I do. So I can empathize with what wedding photographers are dealing with right now and have some ideas too. So
okay, we can't wait. Hey, one that I missed was someone in the insurance business.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Okay, we're ready to go. Let's do it.
All right. So again, grab your notebook out, and I'm hoping that along with what's on the slides, I have some other tidbits that I want to make sure I share with you. So again, my hope is that we'll have a lot of time for question and answers to help you specifically while you're here, because those specific examples also help other people listening that maybe not ask, or will help jumpstart an idea that they need help on just by your example. So don't be afraid to ask questions, and we'll get to them at the end of this. But first, how do you sell and market your business right now? Because a lot of times marketing to me is letting people know that you're in business and what it is that you do, versus sales, which is why we market our business, because that's what we care about at the end of the day. And so I always look at them like sisters. They are related, but they're not necessarily the same. But I can't, in good conscience, especially during a crisis, not talk about one without the other. So first, know that there's opportunities for sales. We saw at the beginning poll, tons of people are still making purchases. Pivoting might be an option. And to me, pivoting means you're not starting over and closing. You're just simply, how do I use these skills and just shift a little bit and go down a slightly different path. And I also am getting a lot of people that are using this time that are at homes to start a new business, like completely new business. And there's opportunities around that. And it's exciting. And again, for me to hear and see that people are growing during this time. So know that your current business may need to change completely. When this happened for me, it's like, okay, do people still need my services? Do I shut down? What's the right thing to do? And then beyond that, can I make it 45 days, 60 days, 100 days? Because I don't know about you, but coming after the fires, like my rainy day fund, like now we're like in a rainy day week. So it was really challenging to be like, how long do I really have like this real conversation with myself about staying open? So asking yourselves the same thing. And again, not forgetting that not everybody is in the same financial position as you. So some people are better off, some people not so much, and that's going to play into our messaging. The biggest thing though is that whether you're before this all happened or going into any crisis, people never buy what they need. We think that we do, and we do sometimes. We need food, but like why we buy certain brands and certain kinds of foods. We buy what we want, and what we want are solutions to problems. And somebody said fashion. I don't know about you, but when I'm at home, my kids are duct taped in the other room right now, like being quiet. I still need to feel good, and such a fast way to feel good is by putting on clothes that make me feel better. Like I wore jewelry today that I don't normally wear because it's making me feel better. And so people still need fashion. They still want entertainment. It's how can we deliver those things in a way that solves a problem. That's true of marketing forever. And now I think it's more critical.
I just have to stop, Ashley. That
Yes.
is incredible. You said we buy what we want, and what we want is a solution to our problems. People are buying solutions right now, and we can offer solutions no matter what industry we're in.
No matter what it is. And there's a great book. I'm a huge advocate of good books. And so Predictably Irrational, if you haven't read that book, put that on Audible. If you haven't downloaded Audible, you can use it as your free book. It's worth it. But we are emotional purchases, no matter how rational we think that we are. And so we just use our logic to justify our purchases. And so again, like if you're saying that you're only buying basics, did I have to go to Holiday? I could have probably gone to Winco instead, but I went to Holiday, and there's a reason why it made me feel normal, and that's where I usually go. So people buy solutions. And another friend of mine who does personal training, instead of saying get your bikini body by summer, she just changed her messaging now to boost your immune system. She's not changing her offering. She's still helping people get in shape, but how she's communicating that is just one, being mindful of the audience, but also again, it's what problem do people have right now that you can solve in your box of tools. And again, we'll go into more specifics for those that want answers at the end, but if you just take away this one thing and use it always in your business, no matter what business that you have, this is what you're doing. And to me, it makes it to where you're not selling, you're helping somebody. And to me, that's so much easier than trying to convince somebody of why they should buy my widget or my service. You're solving a problem. What problem are you solving? Confidence, finances, like whatever it is, that to me is the number one thing of all marketing and all messaging, and the thing that people miss, and it's so close most of the time. The other big thing, which is a huge opportunity right now, and I don't know about your internet connection, but mine has felt it. We have a captive audience. Like everybody is online right now. And you can use this time to actually grow and expand and put yourself out there rather than panic and contract. And great ways to do that, which is again, another just gold standard of marketing in general, is to add value. That can look like entertainment. So funny TikTok videos or a silly meme that you share about cats or something on Facebook. We could all use a little bit of levity right now. And so that is a huge value, and it keeps your name top of mind. And then it also creates goodwill and positioning, and then the sales will follow. And we'll talk about, some of you I know are in a position where you need sales today, and there's opportunities for that. But this is your playbook for marketing forever, but more now. I would really encourage you to push yourself and be out there. And again, as a way to solve a problem, because I don't know about your email box right now, but mine is schizophrenic. There's some people that think it's still spring and trying to sell me floral dresses as if I can go wear them outside, versus selling me an outfit to show up with confidence and power on my next conference call. You know, it's, some people are making the change in their messaging, and some people are acting like it's, you know, nothing's changed. Some people, you can feel the desperation in them selling their $9 product or their $27 product. And then other people are selling $37 products. And again, it feels like they're helping me, whether it's educating, entertaining, in short, they're adding value to my day. And that's the huge opportunity here to do it. And to give you a personal example, until I get to hear some of your stories, my idea was for myself and my business was each day until this is over, I'm going to reach out to one new person and see if there's something that I can do to help their business, whether that's give them advice on running Facebook ads, whether it's helping them with their messaging real quick, whatever it is. And by the end of day one, I already had somebody wanting to work with me. And my intention was not to sell, it was just to give. So if you figure out how you can help people right now, sales will come, especially when you're not focused on that. What were you
Hey,
saying,
Ashley.
Yes.
I'm taking so many notes. Can you take off the screen for a second? I know you have so much to share with us, but I'm loving a lot of what you're saying. And so I want to see how this applies to other people. Your commitment in your business was to reach out individually to one person a day to see how you could help.
Yep.
So how might that apply for people who have a database, who have a list? Do they just send a personal email? Do they make a phone call? What do you recommend people do? It's a really great idea.
If you've worked with clients in the past, I would go to your favorite clients and just ask them, what do you need right now? Is there anything that you need? To use my friend that's an animal behaviorist in Pleasanton as an example, she just wants to not kill her husband at the end of this. Like we joke about it, but so every day I will send her something funny. And that has been valuable to her. She'll figure out how to keep her business going. We're doing online things. Facebook ads are really great right now. I see that one coming up. And how can I help? Figure out how you can help and ask, how can I help right now? Yeah. And just literally calling your favorite people to ask. If you have an email list that you've grown and you've worked really hard to grow, pick some of them at random and just connect with them. Like, hey, you've been on my list and how can I help you right now? And again, like your whole job is just, if it's an ear, if it's just add value, whatever that means for them. It'll connect to your business later on just because you're the one giving. And we buy from people, not from companies. So it's a good reminder that even if we work for a big company, we usually have had a connection along the way that makes us really loyal to that company or brand.
All right. Well, I want you to get back to your slides. Okay. And then I just want to say for people who have questions, if you could start with a Q, so put in chat Q, then your question. I'll be monitoring those. And then Ashley, I'll ask you the questions at the end of your presentation.
I love it. Sounds
okay.
Good. Okay.
This is awesome.
Back people to our regular
really
programming.
Appreciating you. Lots going on in the chat.
So. I can't wait to see him. Try not to get distracted. I already
okay. Don't get distracted.
Shiny object syndrome enough.
Oh, tell us what you know. We're hungry.
All right. So what I know for sure, and before we get into messaging, because I'm like, here's something practical that I could give you today that if you didn't have a strong message, this is a really fast way to create one. And if you do, you'll write it here, and then we're going to talk about how to change it. But before that, I saw a really great presentation from a friend the other day, and I wanted to bring it up. She is a therapist in Malaysia. And she was talking about the grief process, and that collectively as a people, that's what we're experiencing right now, because there's going to be some people that are going to be stuck in phases. There's going to be people like me that probably have them all at once at any given time of day. And knowing that about yourself is important, number one. So if you need the extra time to rest and just be that you like, don't put this stuff into action today and you're not moving forward, be kind to yourself during this time, but also know that there's going to be those people in your audience that are going to be at various stages and phases, and some of this might fall flat on their ears, or other people are going to be ready again for your services. So just knowing that we're all, again, experiencing this, and people are at different stages of the processes. Some people are going to be stuck in one stage, some people will be cycling through them. But if you're here today, you're probably in the acceptance and how can I make the most use of this time phase. And so here is what the practical step that I know that I can give to you and help you today. Your message always has 3 parts. And so it goes to that, what, do I solve? And that makes it, for me, easier to talk about. But you have to be able to answer these in your message. What is the problem you solve? What is the solution that you offer to that problem? and then what's the result, because we care about if it actually works or not as consumers. So I gave an example of a makeup line. The problem with makeup is that it's full of toxic ingredients that damage your skin and cause you to look older. I've developed a natural mineral makeup that gives you all the coverage of a professional lines while improving improving your skin in the process. So I'd probably still have to clean that up so I could say it more, but like that I could put on a website, and it tells people that I have a natural makeup line, that it's still gonna give me the whole look that I want, and that I'm actually have better skin going out of that experience than when I did coming in. So again, makeup though is something that's frivolous, and I see my client that has this makeup line, she's still making sales right now. They're not as many, but like there's still sales. Like people are still buying this because now we're online more than ever. So again, how we show up and how we feel, that's a huge problem that she can solve really easily. So I picked something like this because my hope is that if you have something like in the healthcare profession or finances or in insurance, to me, those are a little bit easier to message in this time than something like this where it seems like it's a nice to have. But for some people, that's an essential. That's a must. Like how they look and show up in the world becomes a must to have. So this part is in the download that you guys will be sent after this with the replay. But again, what is the problem that you solve? What is the solution you offer to that problem? And then what's the result of getting to work with you or using your product or service? Which goes into our second poll, Miss Joy.
All right, I'm here. I'm launching the poll. Number 2. Have you sold your products or services? And this is in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, last 2 weeks. Have you sold any of your products or services?
It's so fun because we get to see the responses as they come in.
And what I love too is, again, for some people that, and my guess, I put NA because I'm like, if you work for a company, you're not maybe in charge of sales. So that's why I was like, you just care if you have a job. But also for the people that know everything has drive up, look at the people that say, still getting sales, yes, but less than normal. And then ones that are sales up. To me, again, if I'm in a place where everything has dried up, look, there's money to still be made out there. And my guess is those people aren't scamming people out of it. They're not selling any, snake oil, quick fixes. It's, again, people are still buying. And that's what I want you guys to see is they're still buying.
Yeah.
Money is still being exchanged. It's not collectively dried up for everybody, even though it can feel like that.
Yeah, it's so important. You said that earlier. Some people are better off, some are worse. We've got about 60%, 66% voted. So center in, focus in. If you haven't voted, we want to hear from you because this is...
And it's anonymous. So I have no idea who's voting.
It's anonymous. But I think this is helpful, Ashley, as we move forward to get a sense of what's happening. And we have the majority, everything's dried up.
And but if you add up the other ones of still getting sales, I don't know if that makes it about equal. I can't do the math right now.
Sales are up only 12%.
But like all of those top threes, to me, it's about split 50-50.
Right. 12 and 12 and 16, 24 and 16. That's about 50. So there's more people getting sales than not.
So again, not to not be sympathetic to those where everything has dried up. It's to show you that for those people that there's still being money exchanged, but also the people that are still getting sales. I find this empowering because then it's like, where can I give value? And for some people, again, that maybe are on a fixed income and that though this is scary and an inconvenience, you're not worried about how you're going to feed yourself like some of those other people might be. So how can you still support your esthetician or your hairdresser or other businesses that you've always frequented, the mom and pop coffee shops? How can you still give them the best opportunity to thrive and come out on the other side of this? So that's why I wanted to put that one in there for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. Is that one done? Share results.
Yep, it should be done.
Okay.
Stop sharing. There you go.
Okay. So next, the question that I don't know about you, but I keep asking myself, do you sell, your products and services online? Do you pivot? Do you do nothing? Do you start completely over? So while I can't give you that advice, like you have to sit down and have a hard conversation, and maybe what you come away with is I'm going to ride this out as long as I can, and then I'll figure it out after, or I'll take a side gig and reopen when I can. But I'm going to assume that you're going to keep moving forward during this time with the business that you have right now for the purposes of this talk. So just ask yourself, how can you change your message to be compassionate and add value or solve problems during this time? Again, I'm hoping that this point just really hits home, and people are stuck at home. So if you know how to create Zoom classes, or you've already homeschooled your kids in the past, how many families right now, like my poor kids, are needing lesson plans? Yes, we have our packets from the school, but how do we make this fun so it's not so painful on top of everything else that we're experiencing? Maybe you could offer help in that way using your current skill set. How do you also, again, be compassionate? And I'm going to give you an example of my cousin, because she's not on this call. And she is a hairdresser down in the Bay Area, and she's home right now, not working. And all she posts online is how hard this is, how scared she is, and that life is miserable. And then when she finally, somebody must have talked to her, because then then her next Facebook post was, I guess I should be positive. So if you need a root touch-up kit, let me know and I'll swing one by. And my guess is that probably didn't sell, because one, we're looking for leaders during this time to, again, to reassure us, to give us a plan, to remind us that there's still good happening in the world, to make us laugh. Leadership in any space, looks like many different things, but it doesn't look like that. But still being compassionate for her, because I understand where she's at financially. And so how would I be able to add value to her? So here's some ways to market your business. She has a toddler at home. So being stuck at home with a toddler and not working, I'm like, to me, my ideas are, we could go through all the different phases of hair over the last century. Like she could do her hair daughters in like 1920s look, and then a 30s look, and then 80s look, and 90s, and bring us through that, so that each day we're reminded, one, that she's a hairdresser, but two, like, it's fun to watch, and then also watch just the bad hairstyles that some of us have had, especially in the 80s, like the wave bangs, like during that time. That adds huge value to your audience. So, and then the next thing, can you take any of the skill sets you've acquired and apply them in a new way or in a new industry? This is such an opportunity to innovate, to grow, to, again, go after bigger fish. So if you've always been a photographer for, let's use weddings as an example, wedding photography is special because you have to do all of the things. You're doing portraits, you're doing event planning, you're doing food photography, you're doing lifestyle. You're qualified for any photography gig. So are there people on Amazon right now still selling products that need product photography? Are there people still needing lifestyle images that you could take from your home, or people that can ship to you for you to take? So how can you use your skill set without having to go learn a completely new trade? What can you do to adapt and change? But also, if you're not financially in a pickle where you have some time to create content, this, again, because we have a captive audience, is a great time to experiment. And if you haven't been online yet, well, welcome to online. Like, you get to be now, and nobody might see your stuff at first, which is great, because if it's really bad, nobody might see your stuff at first, except for like your mom and your dog or somebody. So what new things have you always wanted to try? And especially if you're home and loopy, can you try now? Because I have been talking to the dogs a little too much. So it's like, maybe I do something with them, and maybe it's a hit, maybe it's not, but using this time to play and create will open up other ways of thinking. And again, you can always connect it back to the problem and solutions that you solve, but while adding value to your community and being the place that people go to at night. Things that I've seen work. There's a financial blogger called Ramit Sethi that I follow. He does fireside chats every night on his Instagram live, and he lives on the East Coast. And then he just like talks to you about finances and ways to invest right now, or how to negotiate with your credit card company. There's like, his space is finances. So he's just giving to his community. So what's a way that you can do that? Again, for photographers, what's a way that you can speak to photographers right now, or collaborate with other people in your industry remotely, that might end up trying to be its own thing one day? So I think that's a great way to think. And again, which goes into that, is just, there's something that you've always wanted to do or try. So this is the time. You have more time at home, maybe not extra time, because I don't know about you, but having the kids here and my husband's home, like everybody's home, not necessarily more time, but carving out those pieces where I'm like, I've always wanted to try, I'll tell you a personal example. I've always wanted to try embroidery that's like for like high-end couture clothing. I have no business or right to even be wanting to try those things, but I have all of the stuff. Why not use it and try it now? And maybe I just make something and it's for me and it looks pretty. Like, that's okay. Like, here's a time to try things for yourself, to try things in your business. You'll never know what it starts out as. But again, to use my animal behaviorist friend, she's now showing people things that she knows about animals online in her backyard. Her daughter's videoing it with her iPhone. She's teaching you what you can do for aggression issues with your pet, or how to just train them for agility, and things that you can do while we're at home. So there's tons of ways that you can try to figure out how to use your skill set, even if you're a brick and mortar person. And again, in clothing and fashion, tell me what to wear, because if one less thing to worry about would be awesome. And I'm going to tell you this story that I recently heard, and maybe you've already heard it, and so forgive me if I completely butcher it, but again, new to me. It's a parable about the long spoons, and there's these people that have to feed themselves, and they only have these long spoons. And so this person comes into this world and sees that these people are completely emaciated and starving to death, and they can't feed themselves. And then on contrast, same problem, different land, there's other people are thriving. And what's the difference is that these people have figured out that the only way that they're going to get what they need is to feed each other. And so to me, this has been kind of to me, it was like a visual representation of the idea that I was having, that we're all experiencing this in different ways and to different degrees. And the only way we're all going to get out of it is to help one another. So whether that's buying things from an Etsy seller that we've always wanted to try, like the embroidery example, or we're going to finally start that side hustle that we've talked about for doing for years and haven't made time, and now we're even busier, but when else are we going to be on pause? Go ahead and do it. But how can we help one another during this time? And whether that's financially, or again, just how can you show up and serve in your own way? And the first thing that I think that you have to wrap your head around, if you haven't already, is that you have to believe that your business is important, and you have to believe and recognize that it solves a problem. If you don't think your business is important, you've probably already struggled with sales and being successful. You have to think what you do matters, whether it's fashion, whether it's photography. Like, especially now, I think we need the arts more than ever. I've been watching Hamilton like as much as I can on YouTube clips. To me, that's given me inspiration that one day we'll have theater and the arts again, and we can gather and like just be around each other. And so what can you do if you haven't quickly gotten there to, again, believe that your business is important and be reminded of the solutions that it has to offer? Because people are buying solutions to problem, whether that's I'm hungry, I need a sandwich, I'm going to go to the grocery store, or if it's I have this really important talk to give, or this pitch I'm going to do to this company I've always wanted to work at. What do I wear? Personal stylist would be really important to connect with before, just to make me feel confident, so that way I don't think about myself when I show up to serve. So I think that's another key thing I would love for you guys to take away and remember through all this. And again, like, you feeding somebody else is literally like, how can you help? Is it, can you afford to let your clients pay at the end of a contract? Like if they're in with you monthly or on per visits, like maybe you still work with them virtually and you tack it on at the end. Or maybe again, you go one-to-one to people on your Instagram or your following or your email box, and you figure out, how can I make their day a little bit better? Because I can tell you, it's definitely made my day better to, one, like connect with somebody else that, when we all are going through it together, but to see and remind myself that, yeah, people still need this stuff. And watching them go be successful, but then they were able to give things to me that I didn't even know that I needed. So it's been really magical and really super, super powerful during this time. And I want you to, again, to use it. So the do's and don'ts of marketing, I think more now than ever, and especially now, is do add value. We need it. And again, humor, I can't tell you how much value that adds to my life. And maybe you watch silly cat videos too. I think they're amazing. Be a leader. This is such a great time to be a leader in your space. We're all looking for guidance on how to get through it. And so whether that's just your small immediate community and you're doing it for your household, freaking that counts. And see where you can help. Again, there's always a need. Maybe go to the school system if you're tech savvy and you help them come up with a better way to do distance learning, because I know that they're probably scrambling to figure out how to do that efficiently. Try new ideas. This, again, more than ever, this is a great time to experiment, and it gets you out of your own head. And I'm going to share something that one of my friends said earlier today on a call. She's like, fear can't catch you if you're in momentum. And I thought that was super powerful. So I wrote that sucker down. Like, if you're still moving and going forward and you're concentrating on adding value to your community, you do not have time to worry about yourself. Like, you don't. And to me, that's such a nice reprieve of like just regular like doubts or anything that you might have in your head as a business owner. So try new ideas. Create content. So you have a captive audience. This is such a great time, whether you're new or not. There's no right or wrong. Create content that you believe is going to add value in a way that feels good to you. I have a photographer friend in Manhattan, New York. She's doing a cooking show. She loves food. And so she's like, that's all I feel like I have control over now. So that's what she's doing. Create content. We're all at home consuming content. This is perfect time to get clear on your messaging, and to go to my last point, to use this time to expand rather than contract, because you're here and you want to. That's why I believe that you're here today. So use this time to really grow and expand your reach when everybody else is stuck and not able to take the next baby step forward. And just that one thing earlier of how to make a strong message, that's a huge baby step forward. And then don't use a message that's insensitive in a current crisis. Again, I'm just thinking of like some of the department stores that are they're getting better as the days go on, but that we're just acting like this was going to be super temporary, and we're ignoring that we were all in this as a global pandemic. And it just felt like, I can tell you what fashion trends are. It's yoga pants and like monobrow. I can tell you that that's what it is. So be sensitive to the times right now and just tweak your messaging to fit. You don't have to change your product necessarily. And then don't assume that everybody is in the same financial and emotional and physical place as you are in. So going back to like my cousin, like she's just stuck, and that's okay. That's just where she's at. I have to be more compassionate with her. But knowing that I can't, like, I may not be able to sell her a solution that one she'll even take action on. She's not in that place. And she might say something negative when I start putting out content that speaks to people in her situation. And know that they just aren't your people, and they're just not in that place right now. And that's okay. And just like the polls that we saw, some people, especially in this area, might be on a fixed income. So it's not that they don't have money to spend. True people are being more careful in it. But I've watched clients too that worked at like a physical therapist office one-to-one with clients, and they were offering to do trainings online, and the whole group of people that they worked with got together and just sent her like checks the other day that she wasn't expecting, and she assumed because she couldn't work with them in the way that she was in the past that she wasn't going to be able to pay rent the next 2 months. And people want to help, and again, that wasn't hurting them, and they're happy to give, and she's happy to show up online and help them in the way that she can. So reminding yourself there's still areas and places and entrepreneurs that are in companies that are still looking to hire right now in all of this.
And I know that Italian officials have been discussing.
Joy?
Yep.
I'm like, are you going to jump in? I see you. Oh, no, you're muted. Okay. And then don't give up. You have your own business, and at some point you made the commitment to yourself that you are going to go all in, and your business might not survive, but again, nobody can take away your skill set from you. And I used to run really far, and the finish line is never guaranteed, no matter how much work you put in and all the preparation. But I can commit to myself, I will go as far as I can. So that's my hope and advice for you, is just don't give up. Take it as far as you can. And I think you want to leave the situation looking back and being really proud of who you became, the effort that you put into, and the movement that you did along the way. And then don't stop connecting with others, especially because we're distance. I feel like we need it more than ever. So that's why the one-to-one I think is so special. Even handwritten notes, phone calls. And then if you're one of those businesses that need help, don't be afraid to ask for the help. I think it's so hard to be in a place to ask for help. And maybe if you're a musician, you put on a concert and you just have like basically a virtual tip bucket out there where people can give, but say that, hey, I'm going to be online for 6 hours today, putting on a concert for you. If I would love it if you wanted to donate or give me a tip. There's ways to add value, but also if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it, because you'll be surprised at people's capacity to be generous in this time. So that goes to our next poll, Joy.
Okay. Wow. So much good, inspired ideas. I'm excited about some of the questions who've come in too. So
I can't wait to hear what they are.
Yeah. So let's launch this poll. How are you going to use this time? I'm going to lead where I can. I'm going to add value and create. I'm going to
all of the above.
Innovate. Yeah, all of the above. No, I think it's multiple choice. You can choose more than
one. Even better.
So
I like that. All of the things. I want to see
everything. And just from our inside view, so far, everyone's choosing everything. So
good.
Yeah. This is great. Really powerful. Thank you for your empathy, and also you being the leader. You're talking about us leading in innovation and solutions and inspiration and being careful in the sense of, caring about where people are at, but absolutely showing up fully. All right, I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to launch it and share results. So add value came in
and
number
that's
one.
The biggest thing too, because I know there's so many businesses, and I mean, since we were going to put on this talk, like I have lost sleep over this for you guys, like how there's no magic bullet, but I can tell you that this is a recipe that always works in business. And from me actually doing this and having my clients do it this last week, people are still making money from just giving, not with the intention of making money, but again, people, there's that law of reciprocity, and people want to give and be generous and help because we're all feeling this. And so again, whether that's adding value, how can you boost your immune system during this time? How can you make somebody laugh? How can you teach other photographers to be great wedding photographers? Because there's so many people not being able to get married now, and those couples are going to be having to rebook at some point. How can you help them through this time? Like not just yourself, but again, like your clients and your clientele.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, let's go off screen share and let's go for these questions. And I love what you just said because it's all outside of the box thinking. Go ahead.
I want one last thing, and this was something, again, I saw a friend do the other day, and if you're in a creative business at all, usually the blank page is something that you dread. So if you're a writer or an artist, but this is such a great time because I feel, and I've been looking at the analogy of like all of our foundations have been jackhammered in some degree or another. So this is a great time to lay down a new foundation, look at your business, what was working, what wasn't working, but also like you have a blank canvas to work with and opportunities in here to go do something new, to take your skill set, use it in a different way to get you by maybe for the meantime. But that doesn't mean if you're a photographer, go start a sprinkler business unless you have expertise in that. But like this is it's trying to leave you with hope because again, you're solving problems, but that doesn't mean that it should feel heavy the whole way through if you can help it. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and stop talking and
Okay.
have you dive in.
I like the reframe. You know, there's a lot of people who have, just limiting beliefs that it's not okay to sell at this time. And what I'm hearing you say is we're not focusing on selling. We're focusing on adding value and offering solutions.
And yeah, I mean, that's what we do in business anyways. And I know I became successful when I stopped trying to sell and I was like, what problem am I solving? And people either want the solution or they don't. And that was so much easier for me to sell. But literally people are looking still for solutions to problems. And like I've still bought things online that were probably not, a wise investment if I were to ask my husband his thoughts on it, but they were a solution to the problem. I wanted to learn something new during this time. How can I advance a certain skill set?
Yeah.
So go ahead, let's dive in.
Okay, let's do questions. Are Facebook ads worth the money? I tried marketplaces and I've done for months, and now they are removing my post saying it's a spam.
I think, again, it goes to messaging first. How are you saying it and making sure the guidelines. Facebook ads right now are super inexpensive. Facebook says it's taking longer for them to review. I haven't found that to be true. But I can tell you the cost of them converting for clients in all different industries has been less than the dollar spend that we've been spending in the past. And again, just making sure that when you're putting your message out there, if you're going to use an ad, that you're solving a problem. So again, people are going to buy anything that they want and they can justify it however. Like me getting rid of a Netflix subscription is not going to like financially like make or break me. So if that is how I'm going to unwind at the end of the day, like I'm keeping that subscription and I'm going to cut some other expense. So I'm going to keep my cup of coffee, but I might cut my Adobe subscription instead. So it's what problem are you solving? Because people are going to still buy what they want during this time. And it's just
do your Facebook ads.
Do your Facebook ads.
Kind of message. So what about the marketplace? What's that?
I'm assuming it's Facebook Marketplace. And
okay.
I haven't been in there too much because the one in my area feels like spam all the time. And it's very little, hey, I have this thing. Do you want to buy it? It feels like spam. Like, I don't know it.
Okay, so instead of going to Marketplace, just actually do a Facebook ad, the real thing.
Do a Facebook ad, or I would do, if you have a business page, show up live consistently every day, add value, talk about what you do. You can still pitch at the end as a solution to a problem, but I think that would be way more effective than just posting and going, because right now, because there's more people coming online, and more people desperate to try to pay their rent or pay their mortgage now, it just feels very busy and it feels like noise. And don't be noise. Again, adding value and you'll rise to the top.
And energetically, when you say don't be noise, what does that look like or feel like in your messaging, in your videos? What can you give us in terms of like how to show up as a leader? You talked about that.
So I'm going to use examples of what I bought this last week that was frivolous. And when you hear it, it's $37. So it wasn't like crazy purchase, but I'm like, that could be a meal for the family. And I bought that, just clicked on it immediately, bought it. It was an ad that came through Instagram, had to have the thing because it taught me a new skill. Then there was this other person that gave away this whole free suite of courses in photography, had an upsell to learn something else, and it was like $9, and it just didn't like, and then he kept like spamming my inbox with all these things to sell that $9 thing. And the other guy did the thing for one time, $37, and it was like an easy purchase. So what that looks like when you're messaging yourself, again, is first maybe practice a couple days, a couple hours, depending on where you're at, adding value. If you're a chiropractor, what do we need to know about? I can tell you that this chair is definitely the wrong one, and I've learned that through this time. So what do I know about having good posture, or gut health, or any of the specialties that you might address in your practice that would help all of us that are staying at home stressed right now do better? Then when it comes to doing a live, or and I'm glad not interested in selling right now, but when you're doing a live, it's, again, you add value and then you just offer the solution to the problem. And if people are just going to the straight, here, do you want to buy my thing? I have it on special this week.
Great.
But it doesn't tell me why I should care.
So it's the intention too. It really
Totally.
feels like there's like an intention to solve a problem, whether they buy or don't buy. And that's what people are wanting to feel.
Yes.
Okay. Lots of questions. We got about 8 minutes. So I'm a senior move manager helping with moves and decluttering. Clients are in the most at-risk and fearful category, so don't want anyone in their homes. Also, my full-time job is serving seniors, so I have no time to work on my side gig. So she's busy helping seniors, but she has this side gig and not a lot of time.
What is the question? How to work on the side gig?
I don't know. There's no question.
My thoughts were, I don't know if she's meeting people still one-to-one. My guess is she's not, but if she helps them declutter, you could do that online. You can give people homework assignment, even offer it for free right now. Like, go remove 3 things from your closet, today, and put them away, and then like revisit them tomorrow and see if you still need them. Like, go and do an edit, or just practical education.
Yeah, I want to add to that. You might not have time to sell a package.
Oh, right? Many people don't have email. They don't.
Yeah, so but the simple content, like you said, post a sentence or two every night on your page. Just people thinking.
And if people aren't online, and if you haven't been online, I can tell you, like, the phone is amazing. Like, pick up the phone. Same with businesses. You can pick up businesses. Can I help you right now? How can I help you remotely? What do you need? What are you looking for? Call people.
Yeah,
or
build your brand for the future with simple posts. Yeah,
and simple. Like, that's, what is that? The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, just super simple is always most effective anyway in a message. Here's what I do and how I can help you.
Here's another one. It feels useful to think about what problems people are having right now: loneliness, boredom, concern of germs, anxiety, fear, marital, kid problems. Yeah. Worry of money, future, immune system, getting supplies and food, being social. What else? What are the problems people are facing? You mentioned humor, boredom.
Well, boredom, but also, like, if you're thinking industries, like the education, not everybody's set up for online. So if there's a way that you can help the education space, what other problems? I think marriage is one. I joked with my husband, he's a divorce attorney. And so I was like, you're going to be so busy after this. But I was like, you can do, like, how to, like, get your finances, set up during this time, how to have dates while you're stuck at home, and how to connect with people. I think connection is what that's the main thing through here. But I think that was a great list.
Yeah, I thought that was a great list too. People are needing emotional support. They're needing to navigate this. They're needing to find presence and stillness. That's back to your big topic on being a leader.
Yep.
Offering that. I wrote my message using your system. Life offers us 100 reasons to cry and quit. As a personal development leader, I help midlife women find the courage to start over, and keep going during rough times so they can live happier, healthier lives and have thousands of reasons to smile.
I like that. And I would even probably condense it back to just that last section.
There's
Can't- that's-
thousands of reasons to smile.
No, before like this, I don't know where that last bit ended, but like the first couple spots, I think you said it nicely. The other
Keep
part of,
going during the rough times.
yeah, I would have to see it, but that's, I mean, you could say that, that's just really long to say online, verbally, but I think that's great. And the other thing to dial it down more, if you're going to say it in one sentence, how you would say that, or two or three at the most. And what problem are you solving? Because I'm like, it was so long. Just get to the meat of it. It's not, doesn't have to be sexy or clever. Say, I help women get through rough times, and as a result, this is what happens.
I like the as the result. So that what? You know, you help
So
them
that what?
do this, so that what? What's the big benefit? What's the big result? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Great.
That's really
Thank you
great.
for the question, RJ. Here's one from Joyce. As a wedding photographer, how do you sell for weddings after the pandemic? After the pandemic, you talked about helping people take other wedding photographers, learn wedding photography. But after the pandemic, how do you bring back that business? I think that's the question.
I think the answer is start now. Again, content, how to, one, you can show work from the past. You can talk about your system and method, but also being mindful of what the investment is. That most of them are probably lost depending on the contracts that they've sold. So here's how to replan. Like, here's a guide. You could make a free guide on how to replan your wedding so that you can still have the dream experience that you deserve and that you've always wanted.
I
Like,
love that.
That would be super helpful. So again, when people are ready, that you're the person that they go to, make videos, be there, but give them those answers that they're thinking of right now, because that would be the concern for me. Is I saved up all of this money, $10,000, let's say, to have a wedding, got my dream photographer, for put in $5,000 into photography. And now because of the contract, like, I can't get it back, and I understand, but now I'm going to have like a backyard wedding, and that wasn't your dream. If your dream was something else, how do I get that going forward? Maybe it's, again, them being creative and innovative and booking people at a discount rate for the future, just to promise that they will serve at that time. And that brings in business for the photographer and creates
Beautiful.
win-wins.
Put yourself in the shoes of the people you serve.
Yep.
Really think about what they're doing. Ashley,
Yes.
you know what I want to do? Because there's more questions. I'd
Okay.
love to finish with the last slides and then take a little extra time. Are you okay staying another
I'm
5-10
great.
minutes? Okay,
Yep.
great. Because we have 13 messages. I don't know we'll get to all of them, but let's kind of
Okay.
wrap up officially in
Okay.
an hour, as we promised, and then we'll do the rest of the questions. And so, wow, I love the blank slate. We have actually a couple upcoming events that are online at the Women's Business Center. We have the Branding for Success, which is our Monday, April
Awesome.
27th webinar, but we also have a really great thing coming up, and I'm going to put it in chat for all of you again. And this is a webinar learning more about the SBA loans. So look in the chat, you can click, put it up on your browser, you can register later, but we'd love for you to join us on the 8th to learn more about the disaster loans and how you can get some funding from the government if you're a small business owner. And then reach out to us if you're interested in support at the Women's Business Center, info@e-jedi.org. That includes free one-on-one business consulting done over Zoom. And you might choose to be a member of the Women's Business Center. We appreciate that. That supports us and also is a great tax deduction for you. And you get the discounts on all our classes and workshops. Okay. So, yep, we did our evaluation already. And so there it is. It's been an hour. If you have to go, we appreciate you. You're welcome to leave. And for the rest of you who want to stay, I'm going to run through the questions and we'll just give it another 10 minutes. Ashley, good?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, rapid fire.
Ooh, exciting. That's my pace.
I'm excited too. This has been great. People are all in. So, can you answer where it is appropriate to add links to products or call to actions in marketing? How do we tactfully create call to actions? When create live content, how important is it to the content to be error-free, polished, and edited? 2 questions.
So how important is it to be polished and edited? I think my answer is it's not, but the real answer is it depends on who your audience is. So professionals will notice typos and grammars, like your doctors, lawyers, and then there's other people that just bugs them. I gold medal in typos, so my audience doesn't care, they still love me anyways. So that is my answer on those two things. Is it matters if you're targeting other again, professionals and industries, they're going to notice that stuff. But again, your intention and the meaning behind it, I think, matters the most. And I always trust that the right people see the right message at the right time. And what was the first question? The
Call to action.
links?
When is it appropriate to have a call to action? What are tactful call to actions?
So I like them at the end in situations like this because it's you're giving value truly with the intention of giving, and then your hope is that if you are looking, if this isn't something that's really going to be financially devastating for you, you're just being careful with your money, but you're looking for this problem to be solved. I'm happy to help you. Click here, buy now. Just again, but if not, then I would go back and keep adding value. So towards the end. And I would put links anywhere. Don't be afraid to sell. Again, that goes back to really believe in what you're bringing to the table and what solutions to the problems that you're offering, because people are looking for those. And if they don't get it from you, they're going to go spend somewhere else. So why not you?
Love it. Marie, I have an email list.
Awesome.
Bravo. That's pretty. Let's celebrate Marie.
Whoa, I'm like, that's a mountain right there. Good job.
All right. Could I create a group? I'm thinking a Facebook group, maybe an online membership. How do I present my first email without the receiver ignoring it? How do you send out an email to say, join my group?
Oh, so that goes again into messaging and testing and playing, and your subject line is going to matter the most. I love the idea of Facebook groups, especially right now. You get to create your own bubble and community. I've seen that working really well for clients. I've had them in the past and they've been super just special and fun, and people still post things in there from things like years ago. So love that idea. But it's your subject line, getting them to open it to then read about it. And so your first few sentences matter. So again, if you're looking for a connection, again, what problem are you immediately solving, getting right to the point, and then you can tell them that you have this group and then what it offers. But getting them to open the email, it's going to be playing with your subject line. Things like free, depending on what email server in spam filters get, whatever, but free group, or come connect with me live tonight to learn XYZ, playing with things in the subject line a few times, seeing what your open rate is, and then keep testing it, because it's just usually a messaging problem. So if it's not a you or your service or product problem, I always like, people just don't know. They just don't know it's awesome yet. I haven't said it in the right way. So play with that subject line first. Then if your open rate's fine and you're happy with it, it's those first few sentences of really, why should I care? Like, why should I put my time into that when I feel so torn right now?
Super helpful. I always recommend people just get in a brainstorm mode and make a list of 20 subject lines before you make a decision.
That's a great recommendation.
Have to come up with 20 and then have someone look at it. Yeah. And preferably one of your ideal clients. Which one would you open?
One that you called on the phone.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I need help too. We're all in this together, right?
Exactly.
I'm not interested in selling right now, but I want the local potential customers to remember us. Thanks for the live video suggestions.
That's awesome. Good. I mean, there's so many fun things that you can do. And I think of the restaurants and the bars and stuff and how hard this is on them and their staff. And I'm like, there's so many things that if they're committed and they have the funds to last on the other side of this, like you could have a drink making bartending contest virtually. Like one night somebody does one recipe and then the other bar does one, and then make a community vote on it. Like to me, that would be fun. I'm entertained. I've learned how to make a cocktail. And we had this collaboration to keep everybody top of mind, because not only their audience sees my stuff, but my audience sees theirs. And again, it's a fun.
So back to that long-term thinking, and it makes me want to encourage people to apply for a SBA disaster loan, get on the call on the
many tools, use them right now. This is such a good time. But make content that helps people. And if you, again, it can relate to your business, but again, if you have tools or expertise in another area that you would find helpful right now, insurance, again, where you can find resources, that's what I think of. Like, be the place that be the hub that people come to look for where to go next or what to do next.
And take a deep breath.
I just speak in one breath. This is how
So important. I just started a horse therapy business, Laughing, Learning, Healing with Horses.
Awesome.
They require direct content and access to clients outside my community. Any suggestions for this time?
So it's you in front of your horse, telling them, again, educate them on why they need horses, things that can do, what's so special. I don't know, so forgive me, but like, I know that people spend and invest so much money in racehorses and the care and maintenance of them. And I'm sure you do the same with your animals too. So then how can you connect that back to me, which is why you started your business? What can I remember about self-care and how I should be treating myself like a $5 million racehorse during this time, instead of letting that just be one more thing that goes wayside during this process. So it's creating content, using what you do as talking points, and still giving me things that I can either think about or do from home, so that when I'm ready, like, I'm waiting at the door with cash in hand to come look.
So are you recommending people build their social media followers and subscribers, or their lists, or all of the above?
All of it. I think the easiest thing to do is do the one that sounds the most fun and the one that you can stay at consistently, which that was one more thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned is, we as humans, we don't like change. We hate it. And so the very minimum, offer your audience consistency, because just being there, being a pillar, a beacon of light, something that we can count on, I think is so huge during that time, rather than showing up for a couple days saying, oh, I didn't see anything work, and then disappearing. Just, you never know who's watching and who knows somebody else who knows somebody else, but just be steady, be for yourself too. Just be that constant.
Okay, so handwritten notes to prospective customers, just offering my services. What would you put in the handwritten note?
You can, depending on your service. You could handwritten note, hi, how are you? If you know past clients, hey, how are you? I saw this article the other day. I cut it out. I thought of you, made me laugh. Hope you're doing okay.
So, I got one from one of my colleagues, actually.
I mean, it's like right now, really not getting bills in the mail, be consistent.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, really
that's
sweet.
So hard. That's always the hardest part too, is consistency. But I think now, if that's the one thing that you leave this time, I think you could pat yourself on the back and be like, I showed up every day, or I showed up when I said I would. But yeah, handwritten notes, and again, not being afraid to ask for the sale. So if it's a prospective client that you don't really know, say, hey, I help women build financial success by doing X, Y, and Z. If you're interested in that right now, I'd love to give you a free 30-minute consultation. If it's, and then when you get them on the phone, I'm going to tell you about my services at the end of it, if you're interested in, but here, how can I help you for the next 30 minutes?
I love it. Transparency, clarity. Yep. That's beautiful. Yeah. I want to do 2 or 3 more questions. I just started a therapy business, Laughing, Learning, Horses. Okay. Our ranch offers horse-assisted activities and learning, and none of my participants have been here since the crisis. Yeah. What would you suggest I could offer to help my participants or others? We're a nonprofit that provide meaningful ranch experiences, and we can't do it right now.
So I think about lessons from ranch life, because those are so unique to being out there, that we can, though we can't experience now, we can live vicariously through you. So grabbing, again, your iPhone, posting it on Facebook, but telling me, why getting up at 5 a.m. to go feed chickens is like important, and what skill set. Again, just work ethic, I think, is one of the things that comes to mind, not knowing all the ins and outs of your business, but talking about work ethic, talking about practical life skills that you learn on the ranch that I can apply to my situation now. And again, it just plants the seeds that, oh, you do these things. And I have 2 boys, because I was like, can we please send them to you? Like, So when time's open, I know, okay, like that's something I want to go check out. But it's
Right. So the call to action isn't buy now. It's like join the list. I'm going to give you resources.
join the list,
Sequences we need to really emphasize, right? You're nurturing people who are prospective clients when we get through the crises.
Yep. It's building rapport and relationships and authority and credibility and connection. And it takes longer online typically anyways, but that's, again, it depends on the price point of your item, but people want and are looking for that stuff. So it's what can you remind them and teach them now that they will just amplify when they get to come and work with you in the future?
Yeah, I love it. There's some other questions, and I know we're hitting the end of our time together, but
Sure.
I do want to just remind people that the Women's Business Center at JEDI is available. So if you're really looking at a longer term marketing strategy and you're wanting to, there's a coach here who's wanting to really expand and has tried Facebook ads, how to create content, how to build your list, how to show up in your community to nurture relationships and then bring them in as clients. We have some awesome counselors
Totally.
at the Women's Business Center that can support you. Ashley, I want to put your link, or if you want to put in the chat, your website so people can reach
under
out
construction.
directly.
That's one of my things that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so people can reach out directly to you on like their branding, their messages,
they
their
can.
strategy.
But literally, in my website, you'll see it's in the ugly phase right now. I'm rebuilding
but,
it.
But you know what I love about that? What I love about that is that's real. That's what's happening for a lot.
I'm using this time just like I'm taking my own medicine. So it's.
And when we're busy and we have people coming to us, that usually means it's not because of our facade, meaning storefront online. It's because we're good at what we do. So, for the coach, start giving free sessions, start posting content. Everything Ashley's been saying is spot on. Just offer solutions and opportunities for people to work with you, even if it's for free for one session, and then learn more about what you offer. Anything else you would say for a coach? Grow right now?
Coach wanting to grow. This is, again, creating content that's bringing your past experiences, your hobbies. Let us get to know you during this time, and how you spend your time. Let us connect with you like this, or I don't know if you're on Instagram. Jennifer Gardner has her fake cooking show where she opens up a book and different cookbooks all the times. It's just fun to watch her and learn from her, but it makes me want to watch her movies more and hang out with her more. So it's what can you offer? Jay Shetty, who's an online guru that I love to follow, he has great, beautiful videos, but he used to be a monk, but leaving the banking industry. So he's a good model to kind of follow of what he can teach people how to meditate right now. So what things can you give people that will help them to connect with you, but also help them survive and thrive, because that's, again, the problems that we're trying to solve.
How can you find ways to help people connect with you and also survive and thrive? And then the other thing you really mentioned that's really important, Ashley, I always recommend Google your industry. Mm-hmm. Find some mentors and models, watch what they're doing, then make it your own. Come from your authentic voice and show up, but you can learn through watching others who are in service. And you've given us so much, Ashley. This is
that helped.
We're getting so many. Be consistent. Good. Thank you, Ashley. You rock. Thank you for your time. Hugs. This and all the webinars are amazing.
Good.
Our pleasure to be here. That was me.
Good.
Great webinar. Thank you so much. Ashley, thanks for what you're doing in Reading and for just giving your time today to our center.
Well, you're welcome. I'm just super grateful to be here. And I know that this is hard for everybody, but we're all looking for leaders to follow. And so be one of them, because even if you are one, you're looking for somebody else to follow. So show up for your people, whether it's just your household or it's your neighborhood, community, the world at large. We need you right now more than ever.
Oh, this was so good. Thank you. The replay will be available if you registered, which you all did. You're going to get the replay and the handout and the slides.
Yep.
So be on the lookout, and we're so happy. There's Ashley's elementalimagesco.com if you want to work directly with her. We're happy to support you at the Women's Business Center. Ashley, anything you want to leave us with? You just left us with a lot of
No, I
inspiration.
think that was it. I know you guys are smart and will figure it out. And if you need a day to just be wherever you're at, that's okay too. Don't beat yourself up. And again, that's like, if leading right now is your household, that counts. And I think you are all capable, and I'm excited to see what you guys do with this.
Nice. All right, everyone. Thank you. See you next time at the WBC at Jedi. Ciao.
Bye.